how do you approach these senior living facilities?
Well, if you think you're just going to walk right in and put your hand out and start talking to people, you're going to get kicked out on your ass because they're super busy. They're, putting out 140 fires a day of 140 families that they're helping. There's ways to connect with them that I teach that are definitely not just walking in and trying to figure it out on the fly. These are very serious companies. They're very insulated. Yeah. The senior living community is. As investors, even that word investor looks at as a negative word on the surface for them. So I teach you how to show them what your value is and why. And as soon as you unlock that, then you become their best friend because you help them with their big problems. And so you had talked about earlier this house being worth $200,000 and now they can't apply, or they don't qualify for Medicaid. The strategy that I talk about is that senior living is it's a very American problem. And what I mean by that is in China and India, there aren't senior living communities. It's very much an American thing for us to put our seniors into senior living. And the reason why I bring that up is that they want you to be destitute before Medicaid kicks in, right? And so when Americans, these adult children bring mom, and when I say adult children, we're talking about 60-year-olds helping 80-year-olds, right? So these adult children are in their 60s. There's a lot of guilt of, we can't take care of mom anymore. She's going to go into a community, right? Yeah. There's guilt there. So what do we do as Americans to get rid of that guilt? We put mom in the most expensive place that we can find, right? And so in Missouri, the average there's private pay and then there's Medicaid communities, Jason, right? There's two different ones. Right. And they're very, very different.
Very different.
The guilt side of us, we want to put mom in the best, right? So if they sell the house right away and they can pay 1 year of private pay, a lot of these communities will let mom stay there post 1 year after that $200,000 is gone and live out the rest of her days in that better community. So you better believe what we do is super important for the family and the mom to get the best care, even if it's just to make themselves feel better that they put mom in the most expensive one.
Right.
So that's a big deal. I mean, to do that. That house, some Americans have a lot of money, but most Americans don't, and all their equity is tied up in that house.
It's true, man. That's what happened, because a lot of these folks are older and they've been in the same house. They were probably the first owner of most of these houses. And they paid off the house decades ago.
Yep.
And, they've got this. And, most of the people back in that day when they would buy a house, either be in the 50s or 60s, they would look at that as being, okay, well, when we get to the age of where we're going to retire, this house is going to be free and clear. We'll sell it. And we'll be able to go someplace like Florida or Arizona and, live out the rest of our lives. Unfortunately, illnesses happen, diseases happen, and sometimes plans go down a totally different path. So this is definitely a really great opportunity for you to step in and help somebody